Hello, friends. Happy Monday to all of you. So, friends, I have huge news to share with you. President Biden has made a big announcement on inflation. The Biden administration is also considering making several changes to the Inflation Reduction Act. And top lawmakers, including Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, are pushing to quickly pass a continuing resolution to avoid a government shutdown. Friends, here is the latest fourth stimulus check news. And please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to learn about all of these changes. To say thank you for joining me here every day and watching all the videos I post, I'm giving away 4 $75 Walmart gift cards every week. Please, friends, do make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways.
What Republicans want to talk about is what the American people are worried about, which is rising prices. What we are focused on is opposing a previous question so that we could actually go and consider legislation that would actually help improve the record inflation, 40-year high inflation that Americans are suffering with. What we are talking about is how we're going to lower the pain at the pump and lower the cost of heating your home, which is at a 15-year high in America right now. That's what Republicans want to talk about, what the American people actually care about right now. The gentleman says that, unemployment is down. Let me tell you the statistic that matters. It's the fact that we have 12 million unfilled jobs in America because Democrats' spending spree has paid Americans to not go to work. Because employers in my district and in every district around the country can't find labor. The supply-demand mismatch that has produced this inflation crisis is the result of fiscal policy errors. It's the result of a war on American energy, constraining the supply of energy. It's because of excessive spending that has discouraged people to return to the labor force. So we have excess demand from overspending, and we have constrained labor supply and constrained energy supply, which is impounded into everything and results in higher retail prices. The gentleman says that, don't look here, don't look at us, don't look at the Biden administration's war on energy and labor supply. No, it's not that.
When Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer secured the crucial support of Senate Democrat Joe Manchin for the tax and spending package titled the Inflation Reduction Act, climate change activists celebrated its unprecedented $369 billion in spending. When Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer secured the crucial support of Senate Democrat Joe Manchin for the tax and spending package titled the Inflation Reduction Act, many climate change activists celebrated its unprecedented $369 billion in spending to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But Senator Manchin's vote came with strings attached to his own priorities. In addition to requiring the federal government to sell more public lands and waters for oil and gas drilling, Senator Manchin secured a promise from Senator Chuck Schumer to bring to a vote a bill that would streamline the federal environmental review process, making it much easier and faster to build energy-related infrastructure. Chuck Schumer is expected to keep that promise this month during the last legislative session before the midterm elections. Joe Manchin, who chairs the Senate Energy and Natural Resource Committee, is now writing legislation, shortening and simplifying the permitting process under the National Environmental Policy Act. Chuck Schumer has said he will attach the measure to a government funding bill, known as a continuing resolution, that must pass by September 30th to avoid any government shutdown. Some climate change action advocates believe that changes to the permitting processes are needed to ramp up American production and capacity of clean energy. Now, more than 650 climate and environmental justice organizations have signed a letter to Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi opposing the legislation. So, friends, what are your thoughts on this? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Friends, the keyword for this video is Lake Louise. If you would like to enter tomorrow's Walmart gift card giveaway, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is Lake Louise, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do, friends, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. During a recent interview this week, President Biden announced that it is much too early to make the decision on whether he will run again for president in 2024, opening the door to potentially not seeking another term. When asked whether he would run, President Biden told CBS News, "My intention is that I would run again, but it's just an intention. Is it a firm decision that I run again? That remains to be seen." President Biden's determination that it remains to be seen whether he will run marks a shift from what he and his aides have been saying for most of his presidency and adds fresh uncertainty to a question that will be front and center for Democrats after this year's November midterm elections. Behind the scenes and among Democratic circles, the certainty of a Biden re-election bid has been less solid. President Biden's advisors expect him to discuss another run with his family over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, and hope he will be able to announce a decision early in the new year. But President Biden acknowledged publicly that he is undecided. It leads to new questions into the 2024 race. President Biden also expressed optimism about the direction of the U.S. economy, saying that America will be able to rein in historically high inflation and that he's hoping that the Federal Reserve will achieve a soft landing by slowing economic growth without going into a recession. During an interview, Biden said, "I am telling the American people that we're going to get control of inflation." This week, the Fed's policymaking committee will meet to determine the next course of action in its battle against inflation. Economists are anticipating the Fed will raise its benchmark interest rate by 75 basis points for the third time in a row. However, in that inflation fight, there is also concern that the Fed's barrage of consecutive, massive rate hikes could send the U.S. economy into a deep recession. But President Biden said he does not believe that the economy will get worse before it gets better. So friends, do you think that the U.S. economy is heading into a recession? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, my magnificent and marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this afternoon. Thank you, my dear friends, for joining me here every day and watching all of the videos I post. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and blessed Monday afternoon.
Since President Biden and this all-Democratic government took office, prices on grocery store essentials from meat to produce have seen double-digit percentage increases. Some household items like furniture are over 20% more expensive than they were on Inauguration Day. The diesel fuel that moves practically everything through the supply chain and onto store shelves is up nearly 80% since President Biden put his hand on the Bible. Households' electric bills are up an average of 20% since January of 2021. Commuting and running errands cost more, with gasoline up 70%. And as fall and winter approach, homes that burn fuel oil are set to be more than 75% more expensive simply to keep warm. The American people know who created this mess. They remember quite well how Washington Democrats spent the spring of 2021 dining out on left-wing spending and leaving taxpayers to pick up the bill. And poll after poll has shown they're overwhelmingly dissatisfied with what President Biden and his party have done since then. One survey found 5 consecutive times that more than 70% of Americans say our country is headed in the wrong direction. But that hasn't stopped Washington Democrats from calling the same disastrous play over and over and over again. For months. Our colleagues' primary focus was on repeating the mistake they made in 2021. And in August, on a party line vote, they did it. In the teeth of the worst inflation in over 40 years, every single Democrat in Congress voted to ram through hundreds of billions of dollars more in liberal spending. The American people's top concern is runaway costs. And the supply chain crisis could get even worse, much worse, in the next few days if Democrats let their far-left big labor allies engage in massive railway worker strikes that would hamper the economy even further. But Washington Democrats' top concerns appear to be something very different. They prioritize waging war on affordable American energy in a bill that will have no meaningful impact on global temperatures. They prioritized inflating the IRS with $80 billion to audit more American citizens without a word of accountability for when tax collectors allow confidential information to become a political weapon. Even the supposed reason for the spending package, quote, inflation reduction, end quote, is utter nonsense. Nonpartisan experts have concluded that Washington Democrats did last month will not meaningfully reduce inflation at all and will actually make it worse in the near term. This is what Democrats decided to put first for the better part of a year, and it's what they're now trying to peddle to the American people as a victory. But the American people don't want tens of billions of dollars in wish fulfillment for climate activists. They want affordable gas and electricity. The American people don't want a bloated IRS. They want stronger support for law enforcement at the southern border and in their communities. Washington Democrats have consistently misunderstood what the American people have asked them to do. They've repeatedly ignored the basic challenge they created for working families. When the American people's priorities and Washington Democrats' priorities have diverged, this government has put the people last.